Hello, okay. This is a little sketch that I did a while back. I want to try and knock out a color image of it without taking up too much time, I guess. And you can see I had two spaceships in there. I end up with one. I had this in mind, a bunch of spaceships fleeing that asteroid rock monster. That's kind of an idea that I've been floating around. That's been floating around in my head for a long time. Kind of most definitely inspired by the Empire Strikes Back, where Han Solo flew out of that asteroid with that big worm in there. The Millennium Falcon comes zooming out of that mouth of that monster in that asteroid field. That was just, I think, some of the best imagery in movies ever. Love that scene. Actually, The Empire Strikes Back had so many great visuals. The AT-ATs and the snow speeder scenes, just absolutely some of the best stuff I've ever seen and remember, and have hung on to those in my head forever. Think about that a lot. Um, but that's what we have here, and some kind of entity or creature would pull together these rocks to form some means of physically interacting with the material plane. So that's what I had in mind there, and that's why you would have a monster in space trying to grab your spaceship and um, kind of change it up as I'm going along here. A little bit of random action. I don't really have a plan, just a rough idea of what I want. Um, Laid back color time, laid back drawing time. I don't know if I like that. That looks a little pen and inky. Whatever. Got some blasters. That the overall shape of the craft is kind of a rip off of the Starbird. Was that Milton Bradley Starbird toy? If you don't know what it is, check it out. It's kind of cool. And in the monster's mouth, I put a black hole because he's gonna eat you and throw you into the black hole. Game over. Unless you pop out the other side of the white hole. I noticed watching these videos is the all the fiddling around I do in the tools and the selections. I should learn hotkeys. That would definitely speed up the video recording and the drawing, or at least have a lot less sort of clunky digging around in the windows. I do want to add. I do want to try to focus on that cockpit and add some figures in there or some people. I'm not sure how successful that will be, but we'll give it a shot and find out. I think in real time, I think this was drawn in a couple of sessions, maybe a total of 5 hours throughout the day. I was up and down and moving around and doing stuff, and finally pulled it off, finished it by the end of the day. There's a tilt tool, or the brush can modify the shape based off the tilt of the pen, and it is a full Wacom tablet. I can never get it to work though. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, even when I activate it. That's what I was experimenting there when I was just drawing lines over the top of the image. All right, let's go for the cockpit. I don't want to dig into it with too much detail, just kind of give the impression of people in there, or the cockpit lights giving off the shadows and highlights of objects and people occupying that cockpit. But as you can see, I'm a little scattered. I'm always all over the place. Let's focus on the rocks now. I'll get back to that cockpit in a little bit. I always see things out of the corner of my eye. Super ADD, I know. I always see little doohickeys or whatever out of the corner of my eye and have to fix it while I'm working on the other thing. And then that'll go in a completely other direction. I do have another version of this. I've probably a couple different versions of this. Maybe I should have incorporated it into the video edit. But it was a multi-armed creature with more of a satellite-looking spaceship escaping. But this ends up being some good practice. I don't know, kind of was happy personally with the end result, but if you think otherwise, feel free to comment. I'm getting some thumbs down, and I appreciate it. All right, there we are, back to the cockpit. Now that's the pencil overlay. I kind of like the way that looks, but I'm not going to use it for now. And makes it kind of indecisive for me, all the different possible looks you can give the image. I end up noodling around with it for too long, swapping out layers, mixing them, overlaying them, color dodge, color burn. I think I'm getting close to wrapping it up. I like that. I like the way that turned out. I was trying to add a little shadow shine over the top of it. I don't know what you'd call it. That glare. All right, some background. A little particle brush. And voila. I forgot to add the engine exhaust or the engine blast at the end, but I put it in the final image. I like that dark. I don't know if it's too dark. I should send this to the printer to see how it turns out, because a lot of times that vibrance and the saturation that you're looking at, it just completely vanishes on the printer. All right, there it is, the finished rock monster attacking your spaceship. If you stuck around this long, I very much appreciate it, and thank you. I will be doing this again for sure, so if you feel so inclined, please stop by again, whether it's 2D, 3D, or something else. We will definitely have something to show. Okay, goodbye.